Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Alicia. I love doing makeup tutorials, makeup reviews. If you're into that kind of thing, I think you would really enjoy my content. I hope that you will stick around and subscribe. In today's video, we're going to be doing this makeup look using the new Anastasia Primrose palette. Now, I will say whenever I saw this palette online, was not interested. Saw it in person and I had to pick it up. This palette retails for $55. Whenever you open it up, you have got 10 eyeshadow shades and then two, what Anastasia is calling blushes, but you could definitely use these on the eyes as well, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys some swatches. All right, so these are what are considered eyeshadows in this palette. As you can tell, it is just a gorgeous collection of colors. These two, the way those swatched, I was highly impressed with. You can tell these mattes all swatched amazing. I used a lot of these shades on my eyes today. I used this shade, I also used this one, and this one, and I think that that's it. So about half of the palette is what I have on my eyes, and yeah, I mean, I think these swatches definitely speak for themselves. Now, I will say, you can tell from the swatches, these eyeshadows are very soft pressed. You can see, you know, the pieces that kind of fell off there, and I think that's a big error that a lot of people make with Anastasia eyeshadows in general. They're very soft. You pick up a lot just from initial, impact, and I think it's very easy to go overboard with her shadows. So the less, the better, and you can build it up. But yeah, everything swatched amazing as far as the eyeshadows go. All right, now we're gonna go into those two blush shades. This is the one that I have on my cheeks. Probably the one I would get the most use out of. I think it is a tone that is right up my alley, just a pinky nude. And then here is the terracotta. I would have to be very careful with this, but I do love like orangey type shades in general. So of course, this palette can be picked up anywhere that Anastasia eyeshadows are sold. So her website, Ulta, Sephora, I'm sure there's other retailers out there. But yeah, we are gonna go ahead and get in with the eye look. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the eye look today. I think I'm gonna try to use really as many colors as I can, but I'm gonna stick more in the berry red type of realm. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this shade right here, Honey. All right, so just using a big fluffy blending brush, I'm gonna put that all throughout the crease. You can tell that shade is pretty pigmented. This is what it looks like in the pan. So I feel like it honestly comes off a little bit darker on the eye even. Now, if you're familiar with Anastasia eyeshadows, they do have a bit of kick up. Nothing crazy in this one, but it is true to her formula if you're familiar with that. Now, I'm just gonna blend this like all the way up. All right, next off, I think I'm gonna go into this claret shade, and I will say I like how this palette bends back like this so you can hold it, and it's not too heavy to hold this mirror either. All right, so I'm gonna go into a little bit smaller of a blending brush, and I'll show you what I mean as far as the kick up goes. You can see the kick up in the pan there, so nothing too crazy, but it definitely is still there. Now, it had been a while since I tried an Anastasia palette. God, I can't remember the last one I tried. Maybe Norvina? I think it was Norvina. So it's been, well, no, those big eyeshadow palettes that she had. But yeah, it's been a while since I've tried one in this format here. All right, so that shade was actually very, very pigmented. I probably only needed half of what I used. So I'm gonna go back in with that first blending brush we used, and I'm just gonna go around these edges. just to make it seamless. All right, now with a very small, more precise brush, I'm gonna go into this deep berry shade here. I'm gonna tap that off, and I'm just gonna focus this like right in the outer corner over here. And you'll see I'm just tapping that. These shades are very pigmented. I forgot, again, been a while since I used Anastasia eyeshadows. You need very little. Little goes a very long way. Now, honestly, I love these two shades in the middle here. I also love this purple. Just that all over the lid would be beautiful. But I think I'm going to go into this one right here. It kind of reminds me of like the Orgasm shade from NARS. It's kind of pink, and then it's got a shift, gold shift to it. Ooh, that blends really pretty with those other shades. All right, and as usual, I'm just gonna do one eye on camera. I'll catch up the other eye off of camera just for the sake of time. All right, that is very pretty. All right, and then I think I'm going to go into this shade right here, Rose Water. And I'm gonna pop that just on the very center, just for some added dimension. Now I'm gonna go back in with that smaller blending brush we used. I'm not gonna add any more product, and I'm just going to brush through the crease. And you saw those sparkles, how I just dusted that away. I like sparkles, but not in the crease. All right, so that is gonna be it for the eye look thus far. I'm gonna go ahead, catch up the other eye, do my base, and then we'll be back for the lower lash line. All right, I've got the rest of my makeup done. I'm gonna run you through what I've got on the rest of my face. I've got on the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is in shade 510, which is fair. It's like a perfect skin tone match. I've got on the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. This is in shade 345, Oatmeal, a nice peachy shade that cancels out darkness. I really, really like this one. I set everything down with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Mattifying Powder. This is in the shade Light. This is a great setting powder from the drugstore. It's not too thick, but it sets everything down really nicely. And then for bronzer, I went in with my NYX Matte Bronzer. This is in shade Medium, and I really like this one just because it's got kind of like a reddish undertone whenever you put it on. And then for highlighter, I pulled out one of my favorites. This one is so old. I don't even know if they still sell this anymore, but if so, it's such a good one. This is from Revolution, Makeup Revolution, and this is in the shade Peach Lights. Such a pretty one, and it's like $5. And then for my brows, I used Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. It's just what I have been using. And then for my lips, I did go ahead and put that on. I have got on NYX Lip Liner in Nude Suede Shoes, and I topped that with MAC Faux. And this is just a nice, I think this is a matte, oh no, this is a satin lipstick. It is very, very comfortable. But yeah, I love this shade from MAC. All right, we are gonna go ahead and finish up with the lower lash line now. And I think I'm going to use this shade as close as I can to the lash line. And then I'm gonna blend that out with this shade right here. I absolutely love the color story of this palette. It is very rose tone with some bronzes in there as well. It's right up my alley with tones and everything that I love. All right, I'm gonna dust off that rose shade. And just going to blend that out. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this brush off so there's like nothing on there. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out even further. I feel like you have to be careful with that rose shade. It is so pigmented. And this shade right here is such a creamy shade. I'm gonna see if I can pop that in the inner corner. All right, and I'm really just using like a patting motion. It's okay. All right, I think I would rather use my highlighter. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, catch up the other eye, put on my mascara, and then we'll be back for the blushes in this palette. All right, so this is the finished eye look. I really like it. We're gonna go ahead and continue with this palette. Now, whenever you're looking at this, like on Ulta's website, it doesn't distinguish that these are supposed to be blush shades, but on Anastasia's website, it does. Of course, you could use them for eyeshadows, of course, but I love that she came out with like an eye and cheek palette. I think that was so brilliant of her. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm just going to use this blush right here that looks like nothing, but usually those are like my favorite types of blushes. Okay. And I guess, again, you have to kind of be careful just to make sure that you don't pick up too much, because her powders are just so pigmented in general. And you can tell it's really darker. I think it comes off darker on your cheeks than it does in the pan. And I got a little bit more than I would have liked on this side. Now, if I had to give it one critique, I wish that this light shade wasn't by this dark color. I wish that they would have put like this color or this color right here, just in case your blush brush accidentally touches that. You definitely will be able to tell if you pick up this shade. So, all right, now I'm gonna do that trick where I take just a clean, big blending brush, and I'm just going to run this over my face. I would do this, I do this every single day, so it's not like I'm doing it just because I picked up a little bit too much blush on this side. But I just think that this really helps softening a look and really blending everything together. All right, I have got a super long day at work, so I'm gonna use this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This stuff really locks in your makeup and makes it last all day. All right, so this is the finished makeup look. I'm really happy with it. Let's go over final thoughts of the palette. First off, I love the packaging. I love that it's not like this sparkly type of a material or that like velour type of a feel either. I feel like this would be very easy to clean. I think it's very sleek. I like that it is not too thick. Now, surprisingly, the shades in this palette are supposed to be 200% more than they are in her normal palettes like this. So let's go ahead and just look at the pan size comparison. All right, I could see that. I mean, you're getting less shades, but you are definitely getting way more in here. I also love that in here they put 2 blushes as well. I used this one on the cheeks, but I also cannot wait to use this one. It's like a terracotta type color. I love the tones in this palette. I think it's very true to Anastasia's formula. It definitely is very pigmented and very blendable. As you can tell, I mean, I definitely put way too much on this eye, and I still feel like it blended out really, really great. I love this shade. I thought it was going to be more pink, but it actually kind of came off more of like an orangey coral sheeny type of a shade. So I really, really like that one. I can't wait to use these, as I mentioned. But yeah, I was really impressed with this. And I will say that when I saw this palette, just like online on the website, it did not intrigue me at all. When I saw this in person, I was like, oh my God, that is gorgeous. So I would definitely say if you like Anastasia eyeshadows, you like rosy or bronzy type tones, I would go into the store and check this out and see if you can give it a swatch. But yeah, I'm very happy that I picked it up. I think it adds to my collection, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye guys.